Hello, my name is Bonita Summers. I'm an intuitive consultant, and you can reach me via Skype, Yahoo Messenger, and Windows Live Messenger. What I'd like to do today is show you what you can experience with me in terms of a live reading. I use the tarot, runes, I also read voice vibration, energy fields, and I can pick up on past events and possible future events that influence your situation at this time. The way I like to work is I start off with a general spread. I don't need to have any questions from you. All I need you to do is to focus on the question I give you, which is, what do I most need to know at this time? And while you're focusing on that question, I'm shuffling the cards. As I shuffle, and you're focusing on that question, you will let me know when we reached a point where you feel quite focused. At that time, I'm tuning into your subconscious. So as I pick the cards, it's really your subconscious that's doing the choosing. What I do with my camera is I allow you to see the table as I spread the cards out. So for the initial spread, I'm picking 10 cards. Just as I'm doing here. And I do show you each card as I go and give you an explanation as to what the card is about. My aim is to make sure you have full clarity before the end of a session. And I work a little differently than a lot of people. What I do is I ensure that you have as many spreads as possible during the time that you've booked with me. So whether it's a half-hour reading or an hour reading, we get as much done as we possibly can during that time. Sometimes one spread is complex enough that we go into a deep discussion and we don't need more spreads to get the information you need. We may also do as many as 4 or 5 spreads within an hour time. So the first card that I have here is the Beyond Illusion card. Now what that tells me is that the person I'm reading is at a point in their life when they are getting a wake-up call, basically. They're looking at a situation more realistically than they have in the past. And the comparison card comes up next. And now what that tells me is this person is starting to look at what is the best possible situation for them. They're recognizing there are choices to be made and they're examining their options. Now the deck that I'm working with is the Osho deck, and it is Zen influenced. I am a Buddhist and I tend to use Buddhist concepts as I work. Buddhism is more a spiritual practice than a religion in my case. I do support people of all religious and non-religious backgrounds, and I do work in context with your own belief system. However, this is very useful in helping people identify and understand their particular thought patterns that help them to become more enlightened, in other words, more aware of what's going to work for them in their life. The next card is the Possibilities card. Now, this card falls where the undercurrent of a person's life is. In other words, what they're not conscious of. So at a deep subconscious level, the person is starting to examine new possibilities. Something in them is saying, I need something more than what is currently going on. What they are conscious of is the Innocence card. And this suggests somebody who has primarily taken things at face value. In other words, up to this point, hasn't really dug too deeply into the situation at hand. In the recent past, the Receptivity card comes up. This person has been very good at letting themselves receive what the universe has to offer. They probably haven't needed to examine the situation too closely up till now because things have flowed pretty smoothly. It's been a pretty comfortable ride up till now. The Guidance card shows what's in the immediate future, and this means that this person, either at a deep internal level, through guides or angels, or at an external level from friends, co-workers, bosses, teachers of some kind, is going to get some guidance as to what their next step is. In other words, they're not left out in the cold. They will have help to figure out how to move forward. Now the totality card suggests that this person is a good networker. They're pretty comfortable with connecting with other people in order to get the job done and get their needs met. That's a very positive card. And the ordinariness card suggests somebody who is good at enjoying the simple things in life. They don't need a lot of fancy stuff to be happy. They're very grounded in reality. Hence, it makes sense that they would have a card that would show them understanding things as they are. They're not off in a fantasy world. However, the next card, and this card falls under hopes and fears. The isolation card suggests that there's some emotional work to be done. Some emotional pain has been swept under the rug, possibly to the point where this individual is afraid to examine those feelings. They may have been there for a long time, tucked away, and they don't really want to feel overwhelmed with them. But what I often tell my clients is that your emotions carry part of your intuition. Our emotions help us to identify whether we're walking into a good situation or one that is negative. So this emotional work now needs to be done in order to move forward. And the outcome in this case is the participation card. So what this suggests is this person is going to end up in a situation where they're going to be working closely with other people in a way that is very equal and very satisfying. So when I look at this entire spread, what I'm generally seeing is somebody who is examining a situation, starting to look at the choices they have, prepared to move forward with some guidance, prepared to work with other people. Their only stumbling block might be that they don't get to live on the surface now. They have to do a little emotional digging to go deeper inside and get this work done for themselves. But doing that work is going to lead them into a very positive situation. And the fact that I see a positive card at the end suggests that this individual will do the work that's required. So that gives you an idea of a general spread. I'm going to do some other videos for you as well that will show other sorts of spreads that I do. I do appreciate you taking the time with me today, and I look forward to working with you. So until next time, take care.